Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining into our channel again. Today, we have brought to you very interesting topics, something which is already known to all of us, but we often get confused about these two topics. One of the most practiced word in the improvement section, in the continuous improvement section. So these words are continuous and continual. So we'll try and see in this session, actually, we'll try and see what difference does it carry. Uh, when you say continuous improvement and continual improvement, what does it mean? How different they are, and how the different lean structure that we have in the market today, how do we approach it? So we'll try and see this in this session. So, so in your professional experience, you might have come across with your CI coach or your manager or a stand-up meeting guide. They often use a word like Kaizen, for that matter, Tim Wood, 5S. These kind of word they use actually. We will be decoding these words, what are they used for in comparison with continuous and continual improvement. So Kaizen would be a word that is taken from the Japanese dictionary that signifies the value of change, a good change in a way. So whatever improvement we are doing, that improvement or change is good. That's what Kaizen talks about, this Japanese word. So whatever practice you follow, either you follow lean or you follow, let's say, whatever innovation you're doing, whatever methodology you follow, lean, scrum, or ITIL framework, for that matter, if you have DevOps, your organization is following, or any other methodology of agile, like 5S technique people follow, PDCA, small runs people, organization do consider these things in a daily basis, or for that matter, Six Sigma DFSS, the DFSS. So in all these terms, in all these methodology or practices, you would find that the word improvement comes into play. Now, this improvement can be divided into two sections, continual and continuous. Now, still we are confused to know that. So I'm keeping you deracinated from the actual information which I portray, which I wish to portray here in this session. But don't worry, because I just wanted to make sure that you understand that terminology quite well. So either using 5S, Kaizen, Lean Six Sigma, DFS, all these agile practice that we have in the market today are being followed by market leaders, market giant, big companies. They use the term called continuous improvement. Point to note here is they are using the term that called continuous improvement. They're not using the term called continual. Yeah, if you're confused, try next time when you go through the CI stand-up meeting with your coach or team meeting that you have, a little bit focus on the word they're using. They'll be using continuous improvement because all these methodologies are emphasizing on the fact that you should be improving on a constant basis. And constant flow of improvement is known as continuous improvement. So in the frameworks or methodology, we'll be using continuous. Then where does continuous use for? What does this word come into play, and where do we use it? We'll try and see this. So this word continual improvement does talk about exactly the same piece of work that continuous improvement does, like performance improvement, commitment, fine-tuning, and strategizing the values, missions, and the project which you're delivering to the customer. Even the process fine-tuning also comes into picture for this improvement type, continual improvement. But still, so why do we differentiate? And what is the actual difference? To answer your question, this is the one of the one-liner that you will remember it forever, and it's very easy to remember also. So let's focus on the first green line here, which talks about continuous. So continuous can be said as, or can be referred as, considered as something which is constantly evolving, probably bit by bit, simultaneous improvement. Something which is constant and evolving would be will be considered or referred as continuous. On the other hand, if you see this, on the other graph, the second graph that you have here, lines actually, you would say that this red one talks about that improvement happens. It may slip down, and then when required, the improvement will be again south. This kind of subtle changes. Here you will see that the actual motive is to make improvement, but it may not be on the continuous basis. So this kind of improvement is referred as a continual one. Did you notice one thing here in this graph? That if you compare the start and end, continual also reached the same point. Then why do we require the continual? Why? Then why do you require the continuous one? Why the methodology talk about the continuous? Why not continual? The key difference here I would like to call out is, see, continual improvement is quite precarious. Precarious is something which is not time bound. Time bound in the sense that it may take a longer time. If you look at the graph actually, in this graph, green is large stator that take very less time to do the improvement. However, if you look at the red one, it takes a lot of dots we have in between. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of wagging the tail happens. So it takes a longer time. Your steps are not strategized as methodology talk about. So this is the key difference between continual and continuous. Now, if you're confused, even after this slide, I'm going to give you some more. A real life example. So confused? Still confused? Well, I'm going to give you some more. So a real life example I'm going to give you is, now look at this. In the agile or in the lean practice that we follow, the trainers do use a term called plant and beetle exercises, or example they use. The code example actually. Look at the left one here. It says plant. We all know that the seed becomes plant, then plant, after a period of time, it becomes a gigantic tree, right? So you've been plant and gradually evolving, becoming a gigantic tree. So that growth is kind of continuous. One point you can't go down, right? So this is called continuous improvement. You grow it substantially, but it happens on a regular basis. There's no slipping from there. Now, on the other hand, the beetle, if you look at the beetle movement, if beetle has to go to one place to another place, you will see that they'll make the haphazardly steps. They're not organized. So that will, and that also may not be sustainable at times. Actually, it'll be there up at times and will go down again. So these kind of improvements will be referred as a continual one. If you're still confused, I'm going to give you a very layman language example that will help you understand it. Now, when somebody says that, somebody makes a statement actually to his colleague that my car is giving me continual problem. I have to take this car to the garage every now and then to get it fixed. He's saying continual improvement. Remember why? Because car works for some time and then it it starts giving him jolt. It's not that continuously remains faulty, but he says that it works at times and it doesn't at times. So it's kind of stop and stop. So these kind of improvements is called continual improvement, the car. On the other hand, on the continuous improvement area, I would say that after taking so and so online courses, I've seen continuous improvement in you. You start getting the examples, you start getting the keywords correctly. So people often refer it in the day-to-day life, actually, in daily routine. You might have come across a certain one where parents says that I saw a substantial improvement in my or continuous improvement in my kid's performance after she had joined online classes. So and so. So she's saying that the kid has started gaining the actual meaning of that. That's what called continuous improvement. Now we'll say in the layman language what it is. Something will stay in your mind for a longer time. Now continuous can be referred as uninterrupted, ceaseless improvement, whereas continual improvement is something that happens. Frequency is very intermittent, as and when it is required. Actually, continual, right? It's not uninterrupted one. So that's the key difference. Hope you like my explanation here. In case you like it, do share, subscribe, and put a comment in the comment section if you have certain suggestion to make it better. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining in. Goodbye.